Head over to miniaturemarket.com where they have thousands of board games at discounted prices like E.T., the Extra-Terrestrial Light Years from Home game. Hello my friends, it's the Game Boy Geek here. You're about to see my Allegro 1-minute overview and final thoughts. This is designed to see if this game warrants more of your time. If it does, just keep watching because then you'll see my full intro overview and final thoughts. However, if you don't want to be spoiled anything and you want to skip right to the full review, use the time index below in YouTube. E.T. Light Years from Home is a cooperative game for 2 to 4 players where you're trying to bring E.T. to get him to phone home and get to the mothership. Now you're trying to look around, gather goods, and bring them to a spot like here, 4 blue goods, to create a device which allows you to bring that device, maybe with others, to the clearinghouse. At the end of every turn, for each of these you get, the mothership gets closer, and if you ever get the mothership in the clearinghouse with E.T. here, he's phoned home and you've won. But you'll lose if all 3 cop cars come down and they actually come to the clearinghouse and block it. But each round, dice are going to be rolled, moving the agents towards the kids to catch them, reducing E.T.'s number, and if it gets to 0, you've lost. But you can carry E.T. in your basket and team up other players with you, hitting ramps and jumping over spots to get further away. But you gotta be careful, because if you end your spot with a kid or E.T., well, the people are gonna come after you even faster. And while you have E.T., you can use these incredibly powerful E.T. cards like putting E.T. anywhere on the board, or skipping the move enemy step, or moving him anywhere with a candy trail. So let's see if you have what it takes to help E.T. phone home. This game has a great nostalgic look. The bike miniatures, the painted E.T., the mothership, great table presence. This is exactly what you want an IP game to be for mass market non-gamers, although gamer enthusiasts like it too. It is basically an abstract pick up and deliver game with a very big puzzle that you're trying to figure out. Picking up E.T. gives you great abilities, but also creates some danger. Teaming up gives you great abilities, more danger. Picking up items near enemies or moving through them. You gotta do it sometimes, more danger. Free actions make you feel like you can do a lot on your turn. The game has a great arc, moving towards the clearinghouse, then moving away to distract the cops away from E.T. at the end. This game is just fantastic. You can change the difficulty, but it's all open information, so if you have an alpha gamer problem in your group of people telling people what to do in cooperative games, this game doesn't get rid of that. But it's fantastic. I got a Saxophone Serenade. Hello my friends, it's the Game Boy Geek here. When I was a kid, the movie E.T. came out and I loved it. I still have a lot of nostalgic feelings for that movie, so today we're going to be looking at a cooperative game about E.T. put out by Funko Games and their extra special design group, Prospero Hall. So let me show you how this game works. I'll see you on the other side. E.T. the Extra-Terrestrial Light Years from Home game is a cooperative game for 2 to 4 players, and it comes with these really cool bike kid miniatures and a really cool E.T. figure. And here's a closer look of the details of these figures, and they're really good. Look at the details of the face, and the paint job on E.T. is pretty darn good. Now here's the board set up for 2 players. Now over the course of the game, you're going to be moving around the board to different spaces, sometimes even going through shortcuts. You're going to be getting the zones and then picking up items from that specific spot. You'll be carrying up to 2 items. Oh, by the way, each little player has their own little special abilities, which is nice. You'll also be moving to zones that match the color of the items that you have and dropping them off like that. Because as soon as you get 4 of a certain color, blue in this case, that's a wild, and E.T. is in one of the surrounding spaces, he will create a device that will help you phone home. And instead of having E.T. in your basket, you can actually put that device in the basket, and you're trying to deliver it to the clearing spot in the bottom left with the phone in it. Because at the end of everybody's turn, any dice that are here are going to get rolled, and you have a 1/3 chance on each of these dice to get a phone. And for each phone, the mothership gets closer to the clearing. And if at any point in time you're able to get the mothership all the way to the clearing and have E.T. in any of the surrounding spots, you've won the game. But at the end of every turn, 2 enemy dice are going to be rolled and certain things are going to move. Like the B cop is going to move down here, and if they run into a kid or E.T., they are caught. Not only will the kids move back to start, but E.T.'s meter here will go down from 6 to 5. If it ever gets to 0, you'll lose. In addition, the certain cop that's trying to chase you can move a couple of times maybe. For example, on the red player's turn, the red cop would move, and they're going to move in this case too. They always go the closest way, and you might get caught there instead. But sometimes Agent Keys will move, and he's always moving closer to E.T. If E.T. gets caught, not only does his meter go down, but E.T. doesn't move away from Keys, meaning you've got to get E.T. moved away from him, or he's going to get caught again next turn. So how do you move E.T.? Well, for a free action, you could spend a candy that's a reserve between all players, and you could spend a candy to move E.T. in one space in any direction. Now you might end up running out of candy, but for an action you could take one from the supply and put it into the player's reserves in order to be used by any player later. You can even team up with another player. These miniatures actually stick together and you can move together even if it's not your turn. So if I'm red and I'm moving, the purple player can move with me to somewhere else, and you get to share each other's abilities. So even from the red player, I could use the purple player's ability if we're teamed up, and once per turn, we could pick up a dangerous pickup without rolling the danger die. And this is important because if I want to pick this up and there is an agent anywhere surrounding this, I would have to immediately roll a danger die, which might move the cop car of my choice, or it might move all agents. And I have to do that immediately, but that ability allows me to not do that once per turn and be able to pick this up. Also, if you move through an agent, you immediately have to roll that die in the middle of your turn and see what happens. Now, in addition to that, if you are either with E.T. or you're with another kid in your spot at the end of the turn, you've got to roll this in addition to the 2 normal enemy dice. So you want to be together with both E.T. and the kids, but then again, you kind of don't at the end of the turn because it makes it harder. Now, the other cool thing is if you have E.T. with you, once per turn, you can use one of these E.T. power cards, and they're really cool, like this iconic version of the film where you move to any space that does not contain enemies. Or you can skip the move enemies turn this step. He's hidden like that. I love that part of the movie. Or a candy trail. You can move E.T. to any space that does not contain enemies. These are really powerful cards, so it's great to have E.T. with you, but you don't want to end your turn with them because, well, the extra danger die is going to be rolled. Now, in addition to items that you're going to find, you might find ramps. And when you're moving, you can move up to 2 spots on your turn. And E.T. and the kids can move through these shortcuts, but the enemies can't. But if you're moving up to 2 and you get to a ramp, that's one of the things that you can find and you place it near you, in one of the spots surrounding you. You can jump up to 2 spots, even over things and over enemies like this. Boom, without even getting caught. Pretty cool. And if there's another ramp here, you could jump again. So I showed you how you win, getting E.T. to the clearing with the mothership by rolling those dice. But you lose if either E.T.'s meter gets to 0 or all 3 cop cars get to the clearing. Yeah, this game has a nostalgic look. I really like the way they did this. They, even on the cards, they used the old sort of 80s-ish sort of border-looking colors. It just looks nostalgic. The board itself just looks like a nice piece of art, but it looks nostalgic. And I love, love, love that on the cards and stuff, like, they didn't just use pictures of the movie. I hate that easy way out. I like that they actually used illustrations that still looked nostalgic, but looked like the movie as well. I like that. I love the bike miniatures with the people, with the kids, and the faces look really detailed on there. I love the little E.T. miniature. Painted, looks really good. The huge mothership just is sort of a counter, as sort of a timer, but it looks really awesome. Great table presence. This is exactly what you want for an IP game to be that's gonna be in mass market stores. You want someone who doesn't play a lot of board games to wander through a Target, see a game about E.T., being like, oh, I love that movie, I'll just buy the game. And have them have an excellent game. This was not what would happen 5 to 10 years ago. The majority of IP games that came out you'd see in the store were garbage. They were terrible, they were a money grab, the games are no good, not anymore, and this is awesome. This is exactly what you want one of those games to be, because it's great for people that don't play a lot of games, but it's also good for people that do play a lot of games. Prospero Hall's design group is really good about doing this, and Funko putting these out as well. This essentially is an abstract pick up and deliver game, and it's done pretty well. It's very puzzly. The game's gonna feel different every time because of the way that the tiles come out and the dice rolls and things like that. I like that you're picking up E.T. because it gives you some extra amazing abilities that seem overpowered, but they are overpowered because it's dangerous. Because if you hold E.T., you're gonna have to roll an extra danger die through at the end of the round. Teaming up with the other kids is great because you can trade with goods with them. They can move along with you. You can use their abilities, but again, hey, if you're still with them at the end of your turn, an extra danger die is gonna be rolled. So it's just like a push and pull of like, you're pressing your luck a little bit there. I like that you're picking, whether you're picking up items next to an enemy or moving through them, you need to stop immediately after that action and roll the danger die. And you might even be rolling it again at the end of the round. I like this, that you've got this push and pull in this level of I gotta get this done, it's gonna cost us, but let's just do it. Or you know what, no, ET's right next to the keys, we can't afford to roll that die right now. Let's do it next turn. I like that, different levels of the design space. This game has a great arc, where at the beginning of the game, you're like running away from the agents and trying to find spots to take things that aren't gonna be dangerous. And then towards the end, as you start making the devices and bringing them down to the thing, you're gonna need E.T. to get to the end, but you're gonna want less possible agents around there that might run into him by accident that aren't really supposed to be chasing him. So you're like running down the left side of the board at the beginning of the game, and then as you get E.T. towards the bottom and you get all those things, you're kind of like running away to distract those other cops away from E.T. A cool little arc there. I like that you don't have to get all 3 devices there to win. They help your chances, but you don't have to do it to win. And I like that there's ways to change the difficulty. On the negative side of things, not a lot here. I just have one thing. Some people have problems with open information cooperative games where someone could easily just tell people what to do or very strongly suggest what they should do, basically playing the game for them. Now that's actually good for kids and things like that, but some groups have problems with that. I don't. I've never really had that problem. I'm always really trying to get everybody engaged and ask them what they think and come to a consensus. But in this game, if that's a problem for you, this game does not get rid of that problem. So just be known that. But that's only negative. With all that being said, this is a fantastic game for a co-op mid-level sort of family game that gamers can like too. Now, by the way, Funko has also put out 2 other really good co-op games, Horrified, which is extremely popular, and Back to the Future, Back in Time. So next week, I'm going to compare and contrast these to tell you what my favorite Funko Prospero Hall co-op game is, because they're all sort of similar, but yet they're all different. And or which one is for you. Now, if you don't want to miss that, go ahead and subscribe to the channel below so you'll be notified next week. Now, with that being said, I love this game enough that it's going to be staying in my gaming library. I don't do that for every game, for sure, and because when I do keep one, I got to get rid of one. So now I got to figure out which one I'm going to get rid of. So let's give this a Saxophone Serenade and induct it into the Hall of Fame. Game Toppers not only transforms your existing table to a high-quality gaming solution, they now offer full leg kits and dining cover solutions for the full table application. Paired with their amazing, thematic, premium stitch edge mats from noted board game artists like Vincent Dutray, collapsible cup holders, and really cool accessories, it's a complete system that upgrades every game you play. Go to GameToppersLLC.com or click the link below to late pledge for their latest Game Topper 3.5 Kickstarter campaign.